She already knows. Within the first 5 minutes of meeting you, before you've said anything that matters, before you've told her what you do, where you've been, who you are, she has already made a decision about you. Not with logic, not with a checklist, with something older than words. And most men walk into that moment completely blind. They think the conversation is the test. It isn't. The conversation is the distraction. The real test is running quietly underneath it. And by the time you feel it, you've already passed, or you've already failed. This is the test she runs in the first 5 minutes. And most men fail it without ever knowing it was happening. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Attraction is not a decision. It's a reaction. And reactions are fast. In those first few minutes, her mind is not adding up your value like a spreadsheet. It is reading you, the way you stand, the way you hold eye contact, or lose it. What you do when there is a silence. How you respond the moment she says something a little provocative, a little testing. She is not judging your words. She is reading your nervous system. Because your words can lie. Your nervous system cannot. You can rehearse the perfect thing to say. You cannot rehearse the small flinch when she teases you. You cannot fake the half-second of hesitation before you answer, or the little laugh that quietly asks for permission. That is the data she is actually collecting. And she is collecting it whether she wants to or not, because this was never a game she sat down to play. It is wiring. Thousands of years of it. Underneath every polite word, her mind is answering one silent question. Fast. Is this man grounded, or is he performing? Now here is where most men get it wrong. They think the test is about looks, or money, or having the perfect story. So they lead with those things. They perform their resume. They list the achievements, the job, the plans, the places they have been. And they watch her eyes quietly drift somewhere else, and they never understand why. Because the test was never about what you have. It was about how you carry it. A man can have everything and wear it like an apology. A man can have almost nothing and stand in it like he owns the ground. The test measures one thing: your relationship with yourself. Do you need her approval, or are you already steady without it? Every question hiding underneath the conversation is really asking that. When she teases you, is he secure enough to smile, or does he crack? When she goes quiet, does he panic and rush to fill the space, or is he comfortable inside it? When she disagrees with him, does he fold instantly to keep her happy, or does he hold his ground, calm, without turning cold? She is not looking for a man who never feels nervous. That man does not exist. She is looking for something far rarer, a man who feels the nerves and does not abandon himself to win her anyway. That is the whole test, and it cannot be faked. Because self-respect is not a line you deliver. It is not a technique. It is something you either walk in with or something you are still quietly building. There are 4 ways men fail this test, and every one of them looks polite on the surface. That is exactly why they are so hard to see. The first is the approval seek, laughing half a beat too hard at everything she says, agreeing with everything, nodding before she has finished her sentence, that smile that quietly asks after every line, "Was that okay? Was I okay?" She feels it instantly. It tells her you have already handed her the wheel. The second is the over-explain. She asks a simple question, and you answer with a paragraph. You justify. You add context nobody asked for. You fill every silence with more of your resume because the silence feels like danger. It is not. The silence was part of the test, and you just failed it out loud. The third is the reaction to bait. She says something a little sharp, a tease, a challenge, a light jab, and you flinch. You get defensive. Or worse, you scramble to prove yourself. She was not trying to hurt you. She was checking the temperature of your frame. And you showed her it moves the second someone pushes on it. The fourth is the performance. The moment you stop being a man and start being a highlight reel, the stories get bigger. The energy gets louder. You become a show. And a show is exhausting to sit across from, because she can feel there is no real person underneath it. Just someone terrified of being ordinary for 10 whole seconds. 4 fails. All silent. All of them growing from the same root. A man trying to earn a seat he should have simply taken. So how do you pass? Not with lines, not with tactics, not with some clever thing to say in the first 30 seconds. If you try to pass the test by performing the opposite of these mistakes, you're still performing. And she will feel that too. You pass by becoming a man who is not auditioning. It starts with slowing down. Most men speed up when they are nervous. Faster words, faster laugh, faster everything. Grounded men slow down. They let a question land before they answer it. They let a pause sit there without treating it like an emergency. A slow, easy pace tells her nervous system, before a single word, I am not in a hurry to be liked. It is meeting the tease with a smile instead of a flinch. She jabs, and you just enjoy it. You're not rattled, because you're not depending on this going well. And that is the real key. The outcome. You walk in already whole. You're not there to be chosen. You are there to find out whether she is someone worth choosing. You have standards, quietly, and you're genuinely paying attention to whether she meets them. That one shift changes your entire nervous system, and she feels the difference long before you say anything clever. Here is the paradox sitting at the center of all of it. The moment you stop needing to pass the test, you pass it. Because the test was only ever measuring whether you needed to. So no, she is not running a test to trap you. She is reading, in 5 short minutes, the answer to a question you have been answering your whole life. How much do you respect yourself when no one is watching? You do not build that in the conversation. You build it in the gym at 6 in the morning, when nobody claps. You build it every time you keep a promise to yourself that would have been so much easier to break. You build it alone, in private, in the reps no one will ever see. Do that long enough, and you will never have to remember a single thing from this video. You will not be passing her test. You will simply be a man who already passed his own, and she will feel it in the first 5 minutes. This is becoming alpha. Build the man. The rest follows.